Hey guys, there are a lot of things that are going through my mind. I've also tried to record this episode like twice now. My laptop's just not let me, which is stupid. But I think now that I've tried to speak my mind, I can kind of articulate what I want to say. And I was just kind of sitting here after having a shower. I think I'm still in love with every person I've been in love with before. And if you go back to the first ever episode I recorded, I spoke about how heartbreak is beautiful and you should try and feel as much as you can. And also don't feel sad in a way or lonely or exuberated if you haven't felt, in quotes, all the love you could. I say this because, and we all know, I'm a very, very deep soul. I've loved very deeply and I've loved fully and purely with my entire heart. And I'm not saying I don't love my boyfriend, like, this isn't like that, but like, I think I'm able to be such a, in a way, beautiful person, like, not stemming from like attractiveness or subsurface, like, you know, characteristics and all that type of stuff, like my appearance. But I mean, like, deeply, I think I'm a very, very beautiful person, like a butterfly, because I'm able to say these things and I know it's pure and I mean it. Like, I could say it's my boyfriend and he would not exactly know what I mean, but he wouldn't get offended by it because there's nothing to. It's not stemming from envy or jealousy or to even to criticize. Like, I probably will have this conversation with him tonight and be like, this is a very cool thing I found out about myself tonight. But the reason I say it is because I think there is something so amazing with opening up your heart and falling in love with so many different people in a good way. Because I think you fall in love with so many parts of yourself that you find attractive or you may have not had come to the surface without seeing them and perceiving them in another person before. Like the quote where girls most likely fall in love with a man's potential because in reality that's their own potential being kind of guided with by a woman through a man. And I think there is something so cool about seeing yourself flourish in every single relationship. And I've spoken about this again before. There's so many things that you don't know that you need until you are in a relationship and that the right person in that time has ticked off so many things on your list that you have this underlying subconscious, like, invisible list in your head that you never needed, you never knew you needed. And I think that is such a cool concept. But the reason I say I think I am still in love with, I'm still a tiny bit in love with every single person I have had feelings for is because I think I fall in love with the purity of people. No matter how bad it was, no matter how dangerous or pleasurable it was, in a way they're always going to be like a visitor in the back of my mind, and I'm always going to think to myself, what if? And not like a what if like, oh, I want to be back with you. Like, our story is done and that's because I had self-respect and I walked away. But in the sense of, I think I fall in love with someone's intelligence the same way most people fall in love with someone's potential, and I fall in love with someone's pure heart. And to be emotionally intellectual, you have to have some understanding of the world and classic culture and just even the purity of understanding that, like, loving someone or loving thy neighbor in a way doesn't come with terms or conditions. So the goodness in someone's heart, like, I remember like so many people when I was younger, and they were damaged in a good way. And I'm reading a book about being broken, damaged, and having someone still fall in love with you. And like, listen, I'm damaged myself, but I I remember like looking at them in the eyes and just immediately having something like ignite inside of me because I could see the goodness in their heart or the pain. And the pain, I think I craved, the pain led to emotional intelligence and being to understand and having sympathy and empathy for situations and people. And I think I craved that in a lover because I felt like that my entire life. Like, I remember this one guy when I was like 17, and I just like, anytime I would look at him, like nothing ever happened, but I was so madly head over heels for him because every single time I looked into his eyes, I said to myself, there is something there, there is something painful in there, and you get it. So many guys, and you got it, but they were never, ever going to change, and they were never going to be better. And that light in their eyes of hope kind of dimmed over time. And it, of course, the grass is always greener, like greener where I am. Listen, I am the green grass. You are the green grass. And, you know, you have the self respect to walk away. And when the light left their eyes, it wasn't to do with my doing, it wasn't to do with, you know, anything between us because I got better and I gained more, not out of the situation, but just for myself. And I did better for myself, and they didn't change, and that's why they are still in the position that they are in today. But I think this realization of I fell in love with damaged souls the same way you would fall in love with a broken musician or an artist in 19th century rural France, a painter by day, an alcoholic by night, or, you know, a damaged skater, like whatever. I think there is something so interesting about a damaged soul that intrigued me so much. And I think that led me to falling deeper and deeper in love with myself and the understanding of myself after so long being with these people. And again, never dating any of them. It was this constant ray of like situationships. And it was all by my choice. Most of the time, actually. Because why would I let a person get near me and get close to me in that sense, understand me deeply, and understand how I how my cognitive function works in a way without them truly being up to the standard that I hold to myself, that I hold to my friends. So this ongoing thought in my head of, am I still in love with every single person I met? Yes. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that idea because it's not the love that I have for the person I want to end up with, the person that I love dearly now, and the person that I truly understand loves me. But it's a love in a nurturing sense, in a mothering sense. That's like, I hope they're doing better and I hope they're doing well for themselves, but I don't want to go anywhere near you. I don't want to go anywhere near you. I don't want to go left, right. I don't want to see you. You know that one scene in Somebody Great when they're at the club? They've broken up, they're at the club, and they see each other for the first time in a while. I remember going through something when I was younger, and then so much stuff happened. I mean, they got with another person, maybe two. Um, I moved to a different country, came back, and a year later, only after that, I saw them at a club. Like, I just came in, and I saw them, and they saw me, and we looked at each other. I think we stared at each other for a while, and then he just left. And I carried on with my night, and that was not closure, but enough for me to go, okay, goodbye. And I hope you have a great life. And I think there is something so beautiful about understanding yourself so much that you get to admit these vulnerable things to you or to yourself. I don't know. I think I'm not ashamed of being a deep soul. I'm not ashamed of wanting more, and I'm not ashamed of letting go. Because why would I be? You have one life, one beautiful life, and no one is going to take that from you. You should not take it from yourself. No one should drain the life out of you. Not a parent, not a friend, not a boyfriend. No one should drain the life out of you unless it is your own passions. Because that's the thing that should be fueling you in life, is your passions and your creativity. And I think I'm so good with the vulnerable things in life, or the honest truths. Or I think there's a part of me that still thinks I've worked through anger management my entire life. And I think there is also still a part of me that, like, some people perceive me as like a heinous bitch. And that's okay. And sometimes I can be like very, very stern and be very honest. And you know the saying that's like, if you can't handle it, don't dish it out. I think there's a part of me that can handle it so well that I can be honest with myself and say anything at the top of my mind and see it as not a good thing, but be able to speak the truth. Like, a vulnerable thing I'm thinking right now is, I think I'm able to say so many things because I hold myself to such a high regard. Sometimes it becomes a bit egotistical, and I believe that the standard that I hold up for myself should be held up by other people around me as well. But it's true. I do believe that. And I can say that. And some people may think that is a bit narcissistic, that the world revolves around me and my friends should act like me. And I'm not saying they should act like me. I'm just saying I have so much self respect for myself. And then the last 3 years of me changing as a person, I've seen my friends change and them gain not only self respect for themselves, but gain passions and dreams and accomplish so much, from little to small to huge. Like, from the tiniest things to even taking a tiny jump to taking the biggest leap of their life. And I'm so proud of them in every single aspect of their lives. And that's what I mean, the development and the change is what I'm proud of. And that's how high I hold myself. That's how high of a regard I hold myself to, or a standard I hold myself to. And I expect my friends to do the same thing, and they do. And every single day or every couple months, they show me that they are changing and they are growing as people, and I've never been prouder. And even if they didn't, I wouldn't beat them up for it. But I am such a harsh person sometimes to tell them the truth without being scared to hurt someone's feelings. And that's because I have to keep developing, I have to keep changing, I have to keep moving forward and bettering myself. Because there's going to be a moment that or there could be a moment that one day I don't do that and I'm still telling them the truth. And they're not going to take my advice because I haven't taken it. That's what I mean. You can't and that's me being vulnerable, and that's what I mean. It's so easy for me to say these types of things, say these like really intrusive, in some way dark things that aren't very nice. Um because I'm such a pure person, I'm a happy person. I've never been happier in my life. And I'm going to keep being happy because rotten fruit falls on its own. And I think that's because I want to explore so much in the world. The reason I've been trying to record this video over and over again, like, my hair's still wet, I've just redid my eyelashes, I've pulled all my nails off, and I feel so naked in a way. The reason I wanted to record this video, or this podcast episode, is because I kept trying to tell you guys that I am a deep salt, as we know. But no, I was saying that I was researching some things for you guys about courses that you can take as a young adult or as an older adult in the future. And I love learning, and I saved it in this file basically named Education is a Privilege and Exploration or Exploring is a lot more valuable than money. So I want to go through a couple courses I found and maybe I can interest you guys in learning because I realize I'm the type of person that's like I love to travel. I love to experience new things, but sometimes my soul needs to learn and I can't do that just going on a trip for a week. Like I need to stay there and actually be in a classroom and learn. So let's go through a couple things that I would love to try out one day. I don't know when, but maybe one day. Okay. The first one is actually, I think I have them all pulled up already. Okay, so the first one, we're going to work backwards, is Surf School. I found this one in Tenerife called Wave Culture. That basically is a meeting place for surfers and kite surfers and all these types of things. And you can stay and they give you food. There's a garden, there's a kitchen, there's a barbecue. And you stay with people for a week and they teach you how to surf. You can do week-long courses, month-long courses. They have food and drink every morning. There's even surf camp for families, which is really, really cool. And there's so many possibilities. They also do yoga up in the mountains, which is really, really cool. And surf trips, you can explore Tenerife with them. There's sports like climbing and kayaking tours, trekking, mountain biking, diving, snorkeling. If you didn't know, if this is the first time you're listening, I grew up in Tenerife, not as a Canarian, but like my family spent a lot of time in Tenerife, and then a lot of my family friends moved to Tenerife, so my parents spent a lot of time there, and now my parents are choosing to retire there. So this is why I have such a fond, deep love for Tenerife and the Canary Islands. It's also just such a beautiful island. It's one of the biggest Canary Islands. It is the biggest Canary Island, and there's so many different biomes like Taylor, which is a snow in a way like a mountain forest snow biome. Like you can go, I think, hiking or skiing up there, which is really cool. You've got dolphin watching, you've got the island trips to different islands, you've got these beautiful mountains on like cliffs. Oh, they do parties too, like carnival and stuff. Oh, that's so interesting. Like I've spent my entire life basically here, all around. I could recommend anything to you. I want to know where they're based. I think, if I remember correctly, they are. Oh, look all the bedrooms. Oh, like £50 per night. Oh, nice. It's like a hostel. Oh, okay. I think they're in Playa de la Cruz. Las Americas, I think. I'm not actually sure. Yeah, I don't actually know. But I was thinking one of the things that you could do is start a new sport. Of course, you have Pilates, you have yoga, you have bar, you have pole dancing. You can start surfing, which is really cool. You can start skateboarding, rollerblading. But these are like actual courses that you can do, like fun things, not just like join a run club for free. Oi! So that's really cool. So that's something. Or if anything, any surf camp anywhere. Next thing I found was pottery classes. There's this one in London called Studio Pottery London. There's members, classes, they do corporate events to do. I think there's taste classes, is what we were reading at before. Our introductory pottery class in London is a brilliant way to get a feel for working with clay on the wheel and practice, which is known as throwing. Each participant will have their own wheel and be carefully taught through the process by an expert tutor. Whether you book for yourself or a group of friends, this is a wonderful, social and spirited introduction. I think you can either do like a 6-week program or a 10-week program. Oh, through the May, our taster class clients will be enjoyed a regular free hot drink purchased with any cake from Ollie and Steen. Oh, that's so cool. So not only that, you get a little sweet treat. Ah, that's so interesting. I think I have their. Yeah, we were looking at their Instagram before.
It's exhibition day. We just wanted to show you around quickly before we open our doors to the public. Okay, come with me. It's Ella's Shaver Goldberg's debut exhibition here in London, actually. And we've got a few pieces here. This stunning piece at the bottom, you see.
And it keeps me going, and I love it. And I think if you give it a shot, you might love it too.
This is so interesting. I think there's so many different pottery studios in London, but then also all around the world. And I think there is such a beautiful concept to pottery or ceramics. And I think it's such an easy and fun medium. And I spoke about when I was a kid in high school, everyone had a homeroom, and my homeroom was an art teacher's homeroom. So I spent a lot of my time growing up in a way, like every single morning for an hour, I would spend in this like art studio surrounded by so many mixed mediums, from clay to spray paint to these huge mannequins covered in like paper mache and butterflies and all that type of stuff, like made like these materials and textiles kind of made a dress. So I spent a lot of my time in an art studio and in an art studio. I spent a lot of my time in an art studio, and I think it was such a fun concept. And I think ceramics or pottery is such a fun way to. It's kind of like yoga. It's very yin yang. You have the extremities and the aggressiveness of the wheel, and then you have the calm. You need to have a lot of calm and patience with the clay because it is so delicate. And I think it's such a fun way to not only learn about yourself, but then start learning about not only creativity within yourself, but then also being a lot more social, because it can be a very quiet class, but it also can be a lot of it can be very social as well, because you are surrounded by people. And I think a lot of these courses you can just come in and then use the studio to finish your work and stuff. So I think that is really, really fun. And I think something you should do with age is take a lot of courses. And the reason I was thinking about this was because my aunt, my dad's sister, she's a like world-renowned Lithuanian photographer, and she spent her entire time, like every single hobby is something new. She's doing a new course one after the other. She's doing digital printing to sinotherapy to um graphic design. I think she's just finished now, and she's like, what, 70? Like, she just keeps going, like she loves it. And I think I'm the exact same. Like, I just want to keep learning. So there's so many things I want to do and so many courses I want to do. Like, my friends are very much like, Luna's like, I want to jump out of a plane. And Ace is like, I want to take a gap year. I'm the type of person that's like, I just want to take a month off and just learn and evolve and better myself, and not in like a weird performative way that's like, oh my god, I need to be better, I need to be like very knowledgeable, blah, 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 blah. Like, no, I just want to relax and learn the same way I did when I was in Rome, and I would have so much time, so much free time for myself when I wasn't babysitting, that I would kind of have to force myself to learn and educate myself, because like in a way, school, you can't really, I guess you can pick and choose your classes, but you can't really choose what you learn about. And in reality, it's very like education, or what's the word, curricular based, like exam based. So you spend a lot of your time kind of learning about stuff that is relevant to an exam or recent, that you can do research on or do a paper on, or an essay or whatever. But then with this, with adult money, you kind of get to choose whatever you want to learn. So if I want to learn Italian, if I want to go to cooking school, if I want to go to pottery school and take up, this medium, then I can. And it's such a fun concept. So yeah, there's so many different types of ceramic workshops, and this is the one, and this is their Instagram. If you're watching the podcast, then I know there's a bunch of other art schools, like art residencies in Paris is a big thing. That there's so many hostels that you can use. Oh no, this is just a residence hostel, sorry. There's so many art residencies that you can go to. You just have to do your research. Oh, sorry. And you don't have to be part of a gallery or a school, I think you can just sign up. And of course, a lot of it, or a lot of the programs are um self-funded, but that's okay. It's like if you choose to do it, you choose to do it, and it's a lot of fun. I think one of them I was looking for was for Monet. It's a Monet course in the south of France, or there's one in Provence. I can't remember. Or there's one in the water lily gardens. I think, yeah, something like that. I'm not actually sure. I think next on my list is, oh, so this is Learning Italy, which is really cool. Basically, there's this woman. I think I can pull up her video here. We could.
There's a study abroad program for adults in a small town in Tuscany called Siena. You study Italian from 9 a.m. to 1, and you can fill your afternoons with optional cultural activities, mini field trips, and even Italian cooking classes. You can join for a week or two or do a full month program like I did. The school is called Learning Italy by Dante Alighieri, and they even help arrange your accommodation. I stayed in a shared apartment with 2 of the other students, but they also have homestays with local families and private apartments. But why Siena? I looked at a lot of language schools, especially in Rome and Florence, and eventually landed on this one. I wanted a slower pace, less tourists, and to have as authentic of an experience as possible. I got all of that, plus weekends that looked like this, a local coffee shop that memorized my order, and a group of classmates who were always down to go for an aperitivo or grab dinner together. My month in Siena was exactly what I needed, especially for a travel-loving girl whose first trip abroad was her study abroad program in Italy 11 years ago. This felt like reliving that chapter in a way, but as a 29-year-old instead of a freshman in college. If you want to learn more about the program or sign up, comment Siena and I'll send you the link. You can also follow along for more unique experiences for women like this one. My name is Allison, and I'm a full-time solo female traveler who hosts group trips and shares about her adventures. There's a study abroad program for adults in a small town in Tuscany.
I love that you can do so many things with age, and so many things are now being curated for the older generation, which is really, really cool. So a lot of the things that you can look into is this one website called Learning Italy, where I guess this is the one that she did, and of course the money's there, but I think it's such a beautiful concept because you not only learn stuff about yourself, but then also it's kind of like a free trip because you pay for this and then it's like accommodation you're found. You know that you're safe because you're with good people. You know that you're in an education that, or you're in a situation that you're being educated. So you know that you're constantly working and you have a routine already kind of made for you. But then also, like, there's so many things around the corner. Like, you can travel all of Italy, I think, in a couple of hours. I think from Rome down to the south, like Naples, I think it's like 3 hours on a train. And trust me, I've done the trains, they're air conditioned, there's Wi-Fi. It is so beautiful. You could go up to Tuscany's in the north. So there's so many different things that you can do. And you can see Rome, you can see Venice, you can see all these things like after school, and you can just go. And it's like, say it's like an hour trip away and then come back. Or you can do an entire day trip down to like Camoli and then spend your entire day at this beautiful beach and then come back home, and then you're like, cool. And the thing is, train tickets are what, like €4? So it basically pays for itself. It's very, very nice, and of course you have to, it is a very big privilege to do, but I think it's such a beautiful way to indulge yourself not only into a culture but then also into a language. So I think this is something that I am desperately going to do when I'm a bit older, and I have a bit more time and I want to learn. Like, there's so many languages that I want to learn. One I desperately want to know is French. I think it's such a beautiful language, but then there's so many languages that I just want to have a basic understanding of, like just to indulge myself in, and one of them is Italian. When I spent a lot of time in Italy and I spent a lot of time kind of being surrounded by kids that didn't really know English, I would have to pick up Italian very quickly and not even only be able to speak it, but to understand it. And I don't want to lose that understanding or even that way of life, or just even the culture surrounding the masculine, the feminine, the entire classic language, or just even each part of what's the word? Each province of Italy and county of Italy has their own way of saying things. So I think there's so many different things, and I think the only way I can actually keep up with it is if I spend a lot of time there. And I would love to spend a summer there, or just even like a month long there if it's in the spring, because the spring is also very beautiful, or even in the autumn. That could be very nice. So I think in the future I will do that. I think another thing I found, or the last thing I found, was this, which is the Mali. I think you say it as Ballymoe, the cookery school in Ireland, founded in 1983. Uh, Dania by Dania and her brother Rory O'Connell. It's a Ballymoe cooking school, and I think I found a Instagram that captures it a lot better than me being able to explain it, because the issue was I actually couldn't read very well, and that's why I kept like stuttering on my words, and I didn't think I did this justice. So let's just see what we can find.
I've come to realise that food festivals in England are not the same. And oysters at home do not compare to the ones that I had here. So let me give you the lowdown. Imagine butter, chocolate-covered strawberries, organic wine, speakers from across the globe, talking so passionately about ingredients, fermentation, you name it. I also loved watching our teachers do demos outside of the school. Like, it all felt a bit naughty. But my highlight, hands down, was the butter disco, where you would shake your own butter in a jar whilst boogieing. It happens once a year at Ballymaloe House, but you have to go next year.
That's so interesting. They even have their own food festival. Let me see what they have. Oh, David Attenborough. Happy birthday, dude. Let me see if they have any videos about the school itself. What's this?
What a privilege it is to look out your window and see this.
I don't want to get copyrighted. I think I saw a video before about being at the school, or maybe it was on TikTok. But I realized that there's so much that you can do, and you don't actually have to be a chef or want to become a chef or anything like that. You can just take their courses or specialized courses to let's look at all the courses. There's fermentation class, grow your own food, food festival, gluten-free and glorious, pizza calzone, homesteading is one I would love to do. Culinary tours, herbs and herbalism I also want to do really, really badly. And and farm folk as well. There's so many different things that you can do. There's 12-week courses. Oh wait, okay. So there's courses online, reasons to enroll. Let's see reasons to enroll. Let's do this. 10 great reasons. We share a passion. The school is run by the world's famous chefs, cook first-class local ingredients. That is true. They actually have a 100-acre farm for vegetables, fruits, and herbs, and along with pigs and dairies and chickens on site. And they make everything themselves, and they use the best possible ingredients. High teacher-student ratio. That's great. Choose a wide range of innovative courses. Oh my god, my eyes are like forming together. Fresh and dynamic courses to our curriculum. They also add fresh and dynamic courses to their curriculum regularly, offering an extensive range of short courses, 2.5-day courses on cookings, or even a 5-week summer program. Enjoy all school facilities and comforts of home, bright, cheery, and sunny. So there's accommodation, restored buildings around the old farm courtyard, and then students have full access to the farm and the gardens, and they're only 20 minutes away from a market town in the Middleton, and 45 minutes from Cork City. Oh, so you could even just go out, work hard and have fun, benefit from 30 years of experience, see a return on investment, and become a part of an international network of alumni. That is so fun. That is so, so fun. Okay, workshop and activities. Let's see what you could actually do. Milking, foraging, pop-up dinners, participating in after-hours sourdough workshops, fermenting from what I can see. Oh, what's this? Okay, let's watch this 55-second video.
first year after planting strawberries, if you pinch the flowers off, and don't let them fruit, you land up with a much stronger plant that crops for a lot longer, and that's why I think ours work really well, crop really well for 5 years. So it's worth doing that. But obviously then if you've got another crop in the ground, then when you get to the point where that's its last cropping year, then plant the next lot of strawberries in, so you don't kind of miss out on a year's fruiting, which is what I'm doing. Next year is going to be this strawberry crop's last cropping season. I'm not going to plant strawberries now. You put the straw on and it holds the heat that's in the soil at the moment and acts like a blanket for the winter. You put it on in the spring and it just holds the cold and does the opposite.
That looks so fun. Oh, making cheese. Yes! Micro dairy. I want to make cheese. Reasons to enroll, online courses, student accommodation, fees and start dates. Well, this looks amazing. And of course, I've spoken for a bit. I don't even know if this is going to be a long podcast episode or a short one, but I think I just kind of wanted to talk about a lot that was going on in my mind, but then also the fact that with age, I think we need to keep educating ourselves and keep learning. And these are so many things that you can do. And I think I'm kind of getting to the point in my age that's like, I don't like going out, and I like investing time and money into myself, because I believe the more money I invest in myself, the more I'm going to achieve. And the more I can do. And I'm kind of having this extra money. Like, I know everyone's broke, and I am like also broke, but I also don't have responsibilities, and I don't have kids, and I'm not feeding like a family of 5 or paying for an entire mortgage and type of stuff like that. Like, I have a bit of money to spend, and if I saved it, I think I'm getting to a point where I would rather invest it into like a week-long course that's like 300 quid than like spend it going out spending like 100 quid, because even a pint, like, I don't even fucking like pints, and pints are a tenner. So say you have like 5 pints, that's 50 quid plus a kebab at home plus an Uber, that's like, you're spending like, I think 250 just going on a night out, starting from 6, going home at 12 on a Thursday. What are you doing with yourself? Like, I would rather spend it with like-minded people, and I think they're so fun, especially as someone that likes school. I think it is such a fun way to meet people that isn't just going from workplace to workplace, but then also finding like-minded people in an easy sense, because you're there to learn, and there's no competitiveness, and there's no like arbitrary like negative Nancy's in a way, because you're all there, you're all paying to be there. So it's not like high school, and I think it's going to be such a fun concept. So if you have the privilege to do so, or if you're thinking to yourself, I don't know what's next, maybe you don't know what's next in your career or your friendships or your relationships, but maybe you can find out what's something new and fun and fresh that's next in your life. And maybe that's a side quest, such as organic farm school, surfing school, taking a month-long trip to Tuscany, or even a week. There's a 2-week program, and studying. Like, you can choose the days that you are there. Like, I think there's also odd days, so like 7 and 10. Even like going between work and doing pottery class or pole dancing classes. There's so much that you can do. And I think, as I said, education is a privilege, and the more knowledgeable that you are, the more you're going to achieve in life. And I think that's such a beautiful thing. And never let the light in your eyes die, because it's happened to me, and it's not a nice look, and it's not a nice feeling. And I think slowly with life, the light is coming back into my life, and that's only because I'm doing everything so openly and beautifully and fully to every single extent. So open your heart up more and invest into yourself, because you deserve the world. I truly believe that.